Welcome to Retirement with Jim. So today, 3 decisions at 60 that determine you at 80. So before we get started, if you like my channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button and the like button. Helps my channel grow. And feel free to leave comments. Love to hear from you. So let's get started. So there are 3 things that you, decision-wise, you make in your 60s that really are going to determine who you are in your 80s. So a lot of people love to say that, oh, it's DNA or your genetics, but your genetics and your DNA only play one part of what you do and who you are. So the first is lifting heavy things. So do you know that you lose 30% of your muscle mass between 60 and 80? Think about that. That's nearly a third of your ability of losing your strength, your ability to lift and do all the things that, you did all your life without ever thinking about it. So you got to ask yourself, can you get off the floor after playing with your grandchildren? Can you carry your own luggage? You're going somewhere on a trip. Or can you recover from a fall without breaking a hip? I'll tell you, I took a fall maybe not quite a year ago, thereabouts, and I was walking to my car from the grocery store and one evening, and the next thing I knew, I was on the ground. In a flash, in an instant, and I don't even know what happened. My leg kind of buckled, and boom, I found myself on the ground. And I don't know what was worse, the embarrassment of falling or the actual fall. Now, I was fortunate. I didn't break a hip, didn't fracture a hip. I ended up with a bruise on the side of my leg that was huge. But other than that, and it was sore for a little bit, I recovered okay. But it just goes to show you that you can end up in the bed of an eyelash, something can go wrong. So, lifting heavy things and maintaining, your muscle mass, it's not about going to the gym and becoming Arnold Schwarzenegger. It is about maintaining that muscle mass with, anywhere from like twice a week and working out on maybe some of the different machines. If you don't have them, you could get a small weight set to do some lifting at home and working out at home. I myself have access to a gym that I don't even really use, and I also look at my mother who passed away last year, and her health really declined in her 80s, mainly because she just stopped moving, stopped interacting, and kind of shut down. And so makes me look at that, and I could see now in hindsight the decline that happened and had happened rather quickly. So I look at that and say to myself, I don't need that to be me. I need to get up off the couch, out of my easy chair, and go to the gym and at least use some of the machines that are there. Don't have to do the rigorous, I'm not running a marathon. I'm not working out to do a weightlifting contest, but just work out to help maintain that strength. So that's number 1. Number 2, protect your social connections like your life depends on it, because it probably does. And what that means is, you're looking at, as you in your 80s, loneliness, social isolation, increases your mortality risk by 26 to 32%. And it's you have the opportunity when you're younger. You are at 60, you still have work relationships, you have family obligations, you have community ties, you have a number of things that keep you actively involved on a social level. So when you think about it, by the time you're 80, when your world shrinks to doctor appointments and who delivers your groceries, it really reduces. So if you don't have an established group of friends and social contacts at a time when you need them the most, they are the hardest to find, hardest to come by. So hard to form those friendships when you're that much older. Excuse me. So, you really need to take stock in your social commitments, your social interactions, because they really do keep your mind active. They keep you actively involved. And you know, I know it's hard. Maybe you don't want to necessarily join any kind of clubs or activities, but you need to be actively involved from a social standpoint to keep yourself engaged with people, because later in life, those engagements are going to become, darn flies, going to become extremely important to your mental health, and to make sure that you are really staying um, up and keen with those aspects of your brain. And the third is challenge your brain with new and difficult things to learn. And the key is difficult. We all can learn new things, but if they're easy, they're not challenging to you. You need to learn something, and a great way, especially at our age, is technology. Um, Learn a new technical skill, because it will really challenge your brain to stay engaged. And it's fair to say that you those are really challenging. So for me, like instance, doing these videos, um, I the phone was just a phone I used to call and talk to people and work related, a lot of text. Now that I've retired and I've started this channel, I've really learned how to use my phone in the aspect of making videos and doing my YouTube channel. And so there were a lot of things I had to learn. There are still things I'm learning all the time, but it helps engage you in such a way that it's challenging. And sometimes it's frustrating. I try some things and I'm like, this isn't working. And I just want to throw the phone down and walk away. And you got to maybe take a deep breath, back away from it and go, okay, I got to figure this out. I'm in a bad area. The flies today are terrible. So technology is a great way to challenge your brain to stay engaged, because when you're older, you need that. So those kind of challenges create an upward spiral of healthy aging. You want to be able to age healthy. You want to be able to say, some of these things are going to happen, and what you can do to minimize the negative effects of what happens is how engaged you are. So I look at some of these things and I see some of these things in me that I go, well, I need to change. I need to actively try to work out a little bit more so that I'm in better shape. I need to maybe expand my social network a little bit more. And I certainly need to challenge myself beyond what I'm learning on the phone, but things that challenge my brain that are maybe difficult. For instance, digital photography is something that is um, interesting and but challenging because it's technology I don't know. So you got to find a technology or something that really is going to challenge your brain. But these three things are going to determine what kind of life you have when you're in your 80s. When you're in your 80s, you don't want to be that person that's just living to my next doctor appointment, and like I said, who delivers the grocery? You don't want to be captive to being in your house, and that's all your life is. You don't need that brain fog. You want to be active. You want to be clear thinking, and you want to be on point for everything. And part of it is getting started moving. Once you're moving, you're active. You're maybe walking, at least every other day, if not every day. Then start working out some of those muscles to rebuild some of that muscle mass. Because I learned from myself from falling that I got lucky. But then I know that if I sit too much and I'm on the couch too long, that it becomes harder to get up and be active. You kind of settle into a routine that isn't so healthy for you. So think about those things. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And with that, I'm going to tell you have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.